is no healing to be done. This little girl is already dead. Her little 3-year-old sister had found her laying on the ground outside their front door. She didn't even understand what was going on, so she went to grab a family member, a 15-year-old girl, so just kids, and she tells her, "Look, Heaven's outside playing. She's sleeping." The 15-year-old is confused by this. She runs outside, sees Heaven on the ground, puts her hand on Heaven, and by this point, Heaven is cold. She's screaming. This 15-year-old is screaming for all the neighbors, all the adults to come help. And now they've rushed little Heaven to the Buddha house to be healed. Heaven is 7 years and 7 months old, but she looks closer to 5 because of how tiny she is. And the healers could just take one look at Heaven, and they knew there is no healing to be done. This little girl is already dead. But the questions now are, if she had fallen so hard that it killed her, wouldn't she have fractured a bone? Wouldn't she have broken a bone? Or if she hit her head on a rock as she came down, wouldn't she have bled a lot more? The only blood that they found on her body was on the back of her dress is this tiny tear-sized blood droplet of what happened to Heaven. Nobody will tell Heaven's mom what actually happened because this is not the truth, clearly. And Heaven's mom is on a journey to figure out what the hell happened to her daughter. It's the one that escaped from prison, the one that essayed and murdered her 7-year-old daughter, Heaven. Heaven's mom had just clocked in as a scrub nurse at the local hospital. This is before Heaven passed. This is before she works at the bank. She reaches into her pocket and she's going to put her phone on silent, which is her very normal routine during surgeries. Because she's a scrub nurse, she can't touch her phone. She can't turn off the ringer if it goes off. But something in her tells her, what's the point in turning it on to silent? Nobody calls her anyway while she's at work, and she's basically at work all the time. Let's just keep it on. She scrubs in for surgery. They're working on this man who has a fractured shoulder from a fall. It must have been a pretty nasty fall. His shoulder is looking rough. And all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. Her phone starts ringing in the middle of surgery. I mean, this is exactly what she was supposed to avoid. She let it ring because she can't touch it. She's starting to sweat. The doctor is staring at her like, hello, why did you not silence your phone? And then it stops. Then it starts again. She says at this point, one of the other nurses comes in, grabs her phone from the pocket, leaves the operating room, and picks up the call for her. She is informed it's an emergency. You gotta leave. Her daughter is sick. Heaven's mom remembers thinking in that moment, first of all, my daughter rarely ever gets sick. Second of all, she just saw her this morning. She was the one that woke her up. Heaven was like, Mommy, you gotta wake up. You're gonna be late for work. Come on, get up. She was full of energy. She would have noticed if her daughter seemed even a little bit ill. I mean, she's a nurse. On the doctor's instruction, Heaven's mom runs out of work. She grabs the nearest taxi and goes straight home. And when she gets there, her daughter's not there. Now, she's trying to ask Getnet, because he's the only one left behind, the landlord, what the hell is going on? Where are your sisters? Where is your wife? Where is my daughter? Where is Heaven? Within a few hours, slowly, little bits and pieces start unraveling.